Lines that are shaping the narrative in South Sudan. We delve into issues related to national development, peace building, politics, culture and economics. To stay informed and engaged, tune into Around South Sudan and be part of the conversation that matters. Subscribe now and join us for the stories that connect us all. Together, let's explore the heart of South Sudan. Welcome to Around South Sudan. You go to podcast for the stories that shape our nation. Each week we explore the most impactful headlines that are shaping the narrative in South Sudan. We delve into issues related to national development, peace building, politics, culture and economics. To stay informed and engaged, tune into Around South Sudan and be part of the conversation that matters. Subscribe now and join us for the stories that connect us all. Together, let's explore the heart of South Sudan. Welcome to Around South Sudan. You go to podcast for the stories that shape our nation. Each week we explore the most impactful headlines that are shaping the narrative in South Sudan. We delve into issues related to national development, peace building, politics, culture and economics. To stay informed and engaged, tune into Around South Sudan and be part of the conversation that matters. Subscribe now and join us for the stories. Hello, welcome to Around South Sudan podcast, a show that brings you in-depth analysis on issues that are shaping this nation. I am your host, Lasuba Memo, and today we are focused on the latest development in the country. Yesterday, President Salva Kiir formed an inter-party body to address the political stalemate in the country. And this comes amid a backdrop of international pressure with UN, AU, and the very latest, the United States Department on African Affairs, issuing resolutions and calling on the parties to renew commitment to the peace agreement and bring reforms on governance. And today we will be looking beyond this, but this is just a build-up of the pressure from the international community and also voices of South Sudanese citizens. And to reflect or unpack this, I am glad to be joined by two guests in the studio. And right to my face is David Ring. He is the Executive Director of the Center for Peace and Advocacy. You're welcome.
Thank you, Lasuba.
And I have next to me Nyakuma Peter React, is the Executive Director of Together South Sudan, abbreviated as TOS, and you're most welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have both of you on this show for the first time, and let's begin this discussion by simply reflecting on the political landscape in the country, and most importantly, the move by President Salva Kiir to form an inter-party dialogue committee to steer the country towards the end of the transitional period. And this has basically come days after the African Union and also the United Nations General Assembly, and you may see the latest from the U.S. Actually calling on the parties to renew their commitment to the peace implementation. And first thing first, I want your reaction towards the decision or the move by President Salva Kiir to form this body. We know it's not the first time we have had committees or high-level committees on implementation of the peace agreement. So what's your take, David?
Okay, thank you so much, Lasuba, and the listeners. It is good that the President has taken this initiative to form inter-party dialogue. You know, political issues has to be addressed through political parties. And as Center for Peace and Advocacy, as Executive Director, we welcome the call, but we need to look at the intents. What is the intent of this committee that has been formed? Because the committee has to do its mandates, and it becomes successful when they achieve the mandate that they have been signed. Of course, there has to be an end to this transitional period. Now or later, there has to be an end. And we hope the end should be one that is inclusive, that put all the South Sudanese in the picture, and also help alleviating the lives of people. because people have really suffered in terms of social services, in terms of policies, in terms of education, so many other things. So we hope this inter-party dialogue committee is going to work with good of the people.
Right.
Yes.
And Nyakuma, do you welcome the move?
Thank you very much for having me. I welcome the move, and as you said earlier, there had been formation of many committees, and that is not a problem. But the problem is, are the committee going to deliver what the citizen want to hear? That's the most important thing. So personally, I welcome the inter-party dialogue committee that had been formed by the president. But I'm concerned about what message will our people get. Will that alleviate the suffering that our citizen had been into? And one of my key recommendations for that is that we wanted to see a concrete security arrangement where we see ourselves as citizens, that we are safe and we are able to do our activities peacefully in this country. And again, we also wanted to see a commitment within the ruling party to ensure that the political parties are involved. We need the inclusion. We need all parties to involve into this, where everyone goes and talk about the issues that they needed to bring forward. And also, I recommend as well the release of political detainees, because there are political parties that are in there. Releasing them and involving them in that dialogue will actually reduce the tension that is among the citizen and among the political parties. I also recommend the involvement of medias. Medias has to be involved, and also the civil society. The citizen have to be involved. They need to understand what is happening. We don't need to be sitting behind and then seeing the leaders doing what they want, but we also need to be sitting on the table and participate and see what is being
So in the meantime,
yes.
you won't say that the inter-party what we call body is substantive or inclusive until you see what you're suggesting now.
Yep.
Right. I don't know what is your reflection with the statement that came from the United States of America, and it's warning South Sudan. It's saying South Sudan risks losing support unless the 2018 peace agreement is fully implemented. So how do you interpret this pressure from Washington? Is it a helpful leverage, or is it just an external interference?
Thank you so much. You know, South Sudan is a sovereign country. And as a sovereign nation, we are among the other nations. The United States has been our close ally. Because if you look back to the history of our country and how we have come, how we attained our independence, the United States has played a key role. If I to rate it, it can be around 70%.
Yeah.
So that's my own opinion. United States talking at this time is really timely. It is like pressure, but it is also reminding our leaders that they have failed somewhere. You know, when you have failed and you are reminded that you should put your house together.
They're not just reminding, they said them.
That's
the
also,
government has failed.
Yeah, that's the thing. If the peace agreement now, we don't know where it is. Is it in the coma? Is it in the ICU? we don't know. Yeah. So to resuscitate it, to bring it back to life is what is essential. And I think South Sudanese have been calling for that. As civil society, we are on record. We have been talking about the peace agreement. It has to be implemented in letter and spirit. The president and the other parties, the SPLM, SPLMIO, and other parties have to participate fully so that the agreement is implemented. You know, we are worrying about the war that is happening. The war in the northern Jonglei, these intercommunal wars are affecting lives of people. So if the peace is addressed, if the peace agreement is really resuscitated, then it will help. So United States is putting pressure. Of course, we can call it pressure. But for me, I don't call it pressure. When you are a friend,
Yeah.
You have to remind your friend that, you know what, your things are not going on well. Please put your thing together. And the United States of America Embassy has been talking about the peace in South Sudan, because it's through peace that we can achieve a nation that can be built. Lasuba, to add on, is that, you know, nation has to discuss things. We have to discuss some issues that are positive. South Sudan should be known for positive things. For instance, we should be talking about affordable housing. We should be talking about education, how much is allocated to education, how much is allocated to health. These are things that we should be talking, and we discuss how we are to initiate development programs and projects. It's not every year that we talk about peace, Is peace in the house somewhere? What is it? Is it a creation somewhere? No. What we need to do is, they need to translate this peace into activities. All the political parties should look at ways of creating activities around peace, so that we offer our people the services. If we go back to the history, the reason why we had problem with the Khartoum government then was because we were lacking some basic services. And these basic services has to do with management. And management has to do with politics. Politics has to do with economics. The world over is crying. United States has cut the USAID. Other countries have followed suit. Now there are some other active wars, more better than ours. So what we can do is, we can be able to service our own thing through our taxes. I remember during the budget discussion, some were raising concern that South Sudanese should pay taxes. We should pay taxes so that we service our own affairs. We should not always run to international NGOs, to humanitarian organizations. No. It's high time that we should look at our resources. If we have resources, we have oil, we have gold. Mention them. We have one water. Water is the resource.
And this water here. The Undersecretary and the Minister of Finance said, let us be inward looking.
So this is the thing. If we look at that, then we'll be able to answer, where are the gaps? Where are the gaps? And if we find the gaps in our own collection, then we shall see how can we borrow. And everything has to be recorded. That's when there is a political will, and that's when things are done accordingly. Of course, this one is related to election. Of course, the government has been saying there is election that's coming. Okay, election is good because there will be election. Whether this year or some years to come, election is going to be there. But this election, how is it going to be done? Have we done civic education? Our citizens, are they informed? Have we put something in place to do with election, voters registration, and many other things that are there? Also to do with the constituencies. There are issues that are being raised on the constituencies. Because you can see, between Abiy and Tuch, there is a constitution they share. These are communities that they have intercommunal violence, which is now, at least thank God to the youth, it has stopped. Of course, that thing hasn't been addressed. And there are many other constituencies. You know, we need to go back and revise. The Electoral Commission, National Electoral Commission, is saying we are maintaining 2010 constituencies. But these constituencies, they need to be reviewed. In some countries, there is an independent electoral and boundary commission. Now look at the boundaries of these constituencies, so that we know where is a problem. So this pressure is in place, and also it is unfortunate to be a pressure. I thought it could be a political initiative within, as a citizen of this country, from all political background and citizens, so that we have something that bring forth to the result that we can really appreciate.
Yakuma, do you agree with David?
I definitely agree with David. Usually when your own house is not at peace, you will always want to welcome people who wanted to intervene. But it's only after trying. And what is that it comes after trying? That has become a huge thing that leads you to the outsiders now. And I understand that, as my colleague said, we are a sovereign nation. And that's why, if we are a sovereign nation, we deserve to discuss our things in our house. And discussing our things is bringing all political parties together. And then having that political will to discuss with national heart Your heart should be so nationalistic and understand that I don't need to hold into my interests. You understand? Don't hold into your interests. Focus on what brings peace in this country. And now, should it happen, David, if there is somewhere that peace is being thrown into and no one is able to pick it up, we can run. I know we can go, right? We can both go. All of us, we can go and dive if it is in the ocean. We can all dive in there, get it out, and bring it here in this country. Not every day we talk about peace. We should talk of different things, as my colleague said.
Correct.
And if we're having pressure from foreign country, I would say, is that some of them somewhere might feel that it is good to have peace in the country. Though there are certain countries that are also sometimes having that geopolitical interests that may even affect how we bring up our peace among ourselves. There are certain foreign countries that manipulate. They can manipulate the government, they can manipulate our political parties, oppositions. And so, in that case, it needs us to be us, the South Sudanese, to resolve our issues among ourselves peacefully, without clinking into our own personal interests. Yeah.
Okay. The U.S. is actually one of the international members of the international community to have issued that pressure. But let's also reflect on the African Union and also the United Nations General Assembly recent meetings. And they issued resolutions. And I just wonder, what is your assessment about the government response to these calls by AU, and also you have UN, and lately the United States of America? What is the response of the government like? What is your assessment, David?
All right, the response is cold. It's very cold, in a way that they take it like it's negating, like they are not respecting us. Of course, as someone in political position, you will always have that. But the thing is, the pressure, especially the one that comes from the African Union, is they have in African Union Vision 2063 that it has African issues for African people. It is us, the African. And that's why they formed the C5. And C5 met with the president, and they discussed on how best we can have a peace in our country. Of course, the peace is here. Only what we are lacking is political will and other interests that override the nation. You know, nobody is above the country. And that is what our people need to know. South Sudan is for us. We are going to go, but the nation is going to remain.
That's correct.
What will happen is what the former president of the United States says, that you should ask, what should I do for my country? Not what my country should do for me. So the government has to respond in a positive way so that the people can feel like there is a relief somewhere. You know, the suffering of our people today is so immense. It's really, people are suffering. And this suffering is because of our political decisions. When we make political decisions that are not developmental, like you are talking of political and security developments. You know, development is not just a movement. It has to be put in a philosophical manner. There has to be a philosophy behind it.
Correct.
If you look at other countries like Tanzania, when Nyerere was president, he talked of Ujamaa. There was a policy. In Kenya, there was Harambee, pulling together. In our country, what do we have? First thing, when you have at school, the student don't know what is the objectives, because it's not configured, it's not put there. Even when we sing, does unite us. But we should translate, but this natural, some people don't know how to say it. So what we need to do is to see how do we put it in our fabric, that we must understand.
The common talk now is the 64.
What we should, the 64 now is the common talk. All of us should be, you know, this pressure that is coming outside, we can avoid it by doing some basic thing. The basic thing that we can do. Look at the budget. It was tabled on 3rd of February. Budget of 2025-2026. How many months have we remained with? The financial year beginning in 1st of July. So we are supposed to be talking about 2026 to 2027. But we are talking about the past, not the future. So these are headwinds. These are things that can wake us up so that we see where are we. We should not be a laughing stock for other countries. For heaven's sake, the political class, if they listen, we should not be a laughing stock. We should be people who, when we go outside there, we stand tall. And they say that is a South Sudanese, the way we were known before we went into all this crisis.
Right.
And I think there is a hope, there's a shred of hope that one day, we shall always say, in the word of Martin Luther King, they're free at last. We shall, we shall always be free, I think.
And we sang initially when we gained independence, one popular song, Free at Last.
Free at Last, yes.
It took us a year or so, and we plunged this country into violence. Now, so what is your assessment? How do you gauge the response of the government?
I personally see two responses. You know, this country, as one of the civil society, I don't want to start saying everyone is bad. Everybody is bad. No, we have good people. And the response of our politicians, and especially the ruling party, there are positive people who welcomes. I have interacted with few, and they welcome the initiative. But there are some who are resisting it and claiming that this is a foreign pressure. We are a sovereign nation. You see, this is how is it called? That could that be an ego now? Can we term that as an ego to the personal understanding? Because if you say no, this is a foreign pressure or a foreign request, we cannot go for it. First, I recommend for people to sit down. Sit down with the African Union, with the United Nations, or with others, discuss and see there are certain things our government can take positively from them and can help in resolving some of the issues that are troubling our nation. I feel like
these are basically statements, but they are not imposing anything.
Exactly. These are statements. Of course, these are statements, and this is where they are able to, that's the opportunity actually for them to make good use of their minds and sit down and see, because sometimes when you see reaction from other people and you are having you are in your own world, and some other people are saying, no, you are not going well this way. So you say, I didn't know I was going bad. Thank you. Then you see where you need to adjust. So I think this time, it is a time where our leaders and where our government should indeed see that our citizens are suffering and are dying each day. It only feels to me that being in a foreign country, when you go to a foreign country, when one person died, it's like 1,000 people died. But here in South Sudan, to be honest, it's completely unbelievable. We're all human beings. There is no human being that are more value than the other. We're all the same. And there is no certain group of people that are subjected to die, and no one should say anything. To be honest, we really need to talk things out. And we are 64 tribes of this country. When we sit together, we resolve our issues amicably. And we should ensure that certain things that come outside to manipulate us and that are having geopolitical interest on us, we should identify such things. We don't need to only cling to say, there is this political party that is not good. I don't want to listen to them. So you need to find time to bring people together to discuss and come into a peaceful
Actually,
dialogue.
Successful ruling parties listen a lot to the opposition, what they're saying, and make good use of those. Museveni is one good leader who does that. He listens to the citizens, all the criticism, even to the opposition, and he turns those into opportunities.
Right.
Yeah, so you
I want to add something on that. Challenges can be turned into opportunities.
Exactly.
And there are changes that are happening. I was listening to BBC in the morning, and there is a by-election. The Green, I think, were leading. I don't know how far now. And
the Labour Party.
And the Labour, yes. So when you look at that, it's not longer two-horse race in other Democrat nations that have already established, like the UK. So they are joining the European. You see Europe, they do by-election most of the time. They do they impeach the prime minister or what. All these things are happening, or the president. Or to form the government, you form it with other political parties as a coalition.
Yeah.
So what we want to say is that multi-party democracy is very important. It's key. And that's why I welcome this move of inter-party dialogue. The good thing was establishment of political party councils, which recognize all the political parties that are registered. And that's a move. I think, as Nyagumo was saying, government is showing a political will, especially when it comes to creating political space. But now, advancing it, this is where we are getting the handle.
Yeah.
So we need to advance it, that good faith, because we, as a nation, our formation is that we should do better than where we came from.
Right.
I hope you understand.
Yeah.
We should do better than where we come from.
Yeah.
And because where we come from, now there is fire. We are even a bit better than it means that we can learn from what is happening there, turn it into opportunity, and have a nation that everybody can have opportunity. This country, there should be opportunity for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about inter-party dialogue and those hurdles, you mentioned that there are individuals who probably, becoming obstacles quite often when such initiatives come. Like we learned from the Tumaini what happened, and it went well. At some point, it crashed, and we had so many other committees that were formed. And they just died a natural death, and nothing transpired from those. Despite them coming with roadmaps, we have seen roadmaps that were made by committees, and none of those roadmaps actually resulted into something. And so, what lessons can the country learn from, or the government and the political parties learn from, given that the president has now formed what we call an inter-party dialogue committee?
When it comes to especially talking about the committee that had been formed, I feel like it's a good move for me. But there are actions, as I said earlier, there are actions that need to be taken forward. And those actions are not are some of the things that take us forward, especially things that make us being understood as a citizen, and things that are also making the government to take action about such things. And one of them is inclusion, bringing everybody forward and discuss about those issues. So that helps people to solve matters that are of problem in our country. So this is one of the things I need to add on that. Yeah, you can pick that up.
We cannot run away from the reality. The thing is, the Inter-Party Dialogue Committee, there is an aim that has been set. First is for all the political parties to discuss this element of election. How is election going to be done? Because when you have a dialogue, because the aim of the R-axis, the 2018 peace agreement, the aim of it was for Chad to be election. That is the aim. So if election is the aim, how do we involve all these signatories, those who have signed on this agreement, so that we abandon the agreement and we have a nation that is now standing on the elected official? Because mostly, if you see, most people are not elected. Because when was the election in this country?
No.
Election when we were Sudan.
2010.
We have never had election as a nation. That is a fact. Nobody can dispute it. We have never had election. So what is this first time election? How will it be? And that first time election will be election that is including other political parties. Now here is where they are supposed to collect. I thought the term of reference is that this inter-party dialogue are not going to do it in the hotels.
Right.
I wish they could go to the ground This is a time when you talk of inter-party dialogue like this, you need to put members of parliament, release them to go for recess. And how do you release them to go for recess? Do they have money to go and do something like awareness and about election and all? Because how are we going to do election in Juba, or people are going to go down and campaign in the constituencies?
Yes.
This is what I was trying to talk about before. What we need to do as a nation is that members of parliament should now go for recess, or various political parties that are there. They go to their counties, to their Payam, to their Bomas, to create awareness that there is election. How do we do that? Have we addressed the security issue? This is a question. If we have not addressed the security issue, then the government security organs now are supposed to go on ground and provide security.
Right.
So that these members of parliament,
that conducive.
yes, and security should not be created for that particular time only.
Yeah, it should
It be
continue.
now a lasting
Security.
Then when they collect those data, they are going to come and discuss, meet. Also bring some people to get their views from the citizen direct. So that when you get those feedback, that's when you say, yes, now we are set. The election can be done. So I don't know how many things are we going to do together. The constitution was supposed to be, the National Review, Constitutional Review Commission is supposed to do its parts. The National Electoral Commission is supposed to do its part. The political parties are supposed to do their part for the election to happen. So I hope this inter-party dialogue is not just done in order to respond to the pressure outside. It should be done with willingness that we are turning into some development.
Yeah.
The solution that we need to get.
Right.
So the formation, I don't know what was behind the formation, but I think the intent should be that the people should get feedback from the political parties that are there. Free, actually should be free. People should move freely, should go for those discussion and see how the election can be done. But how can we do it? I use the word of Nyakuma, the way she was saying before. We need to have inclusive. Inclusive mean the other political detainees has to be released so that they participate. Some of them are high profile. They hold position in political party that they are up there. I don't know whether they are disintegration or they are not there. That's the other thing that we hear. But the reality is we need to have everybody that is there to contribute to the development.
And talking about the release of your call for release of political detainees in order to ensure that the process is inclusive, Dr. Riek Machar has been the center of all the calls made by the African Union, the United Nations Security Council, and even he featured in the statement of the United States Department on African Affairs. They said, inclusive dialogue can move when one important figure who is actually heading the second largest party is in detention or under arrest and or on trial. So why is it that this is a very key matter to the international community?
As civil society organization, I believe if all the political parties leaders sit on the table and discuss, there will definitely be a solution. But when someone is in prison and other one are there, it becomes difficult for the solution, because there will be others that are agitated outside there who would want to distract. Not the intention of the person who is behind bars. It may be those people, they are saying, no, we cannot accept. We need to have this person so that we discuss. And all over the world, when the opposition is incarcerated, is put in custody, it becomes very difficult to move things.
Move forward, yes.
We have seen, even in the neighboring countries, we have seen during Moi regime in Kenya, the political, the late Raila Odinga used to be in prison. Also in Uganda, even the current Besigye is still in prison. Bobi Wine, I don't know where he is. And many other things that are there. So the good thing is the trial should be concluded. I think the best thing is for the trial to be concluded so that we see how best or if they are released like that, then we see how things can be. Because even the trial is not about the former, it's not about the first vice president. It's about the Podekang and other co-accused. So if he's not the lead in the case, then why don't release him? Let the case continue, then we will continue. He will be answerable. Right. But he has a political party that's heading the way you have said it. So this thing, I think that we are supposed to dialogue and discuss.
Right.
And that's why I say political parties has a role. They have a very big role. And we have seen it in the comment of the SPLM Secretary General. An amazing comment. He's talking about governors going to the ground, to the schools in their states, and maybe slaughter a bull, celebrate, so talk about the performance of the student and all these things. So that the people that we are being taught are going to be a democratic people. And he was saying, not necessary for the SPLM. Maybe there will be a party that will form later on that will be, or they will come, they will still maintain the status where they are. You know, in politics, there's no permanent friend and no permanent enemy. And we have seen, not once, that people crossing from one party to another, based on the aspiration that they see and how they see it. Kenya is one example. You have seen in Kenya, they formed coalition. The current president of Kenya was an ODM, was among the Pentagon, the five. But now he's in UDA. ODM has been left, and when the ODM was celebrating 20 years, he was saying, yes, I am a member of this party, and all these things. You see how beautiful it is.
Yeah.
That you can move and you get your expression, but you still appreciate that this is where I was nurtured, and this is how I have grown. If we look at the SPLM, all these political parties were SPLM, all of them. Because we had only one political party, as South Sudan. I don't know others who are in Khartoum, they were having their own other parties and all these things. But the aspiration was for, even the Sudanese themselves, NCP. They were having element of people who were talking of the Sudan of inclusivity.
Right.
Of which the current president was one of the people who were campaigning for Sudan of inclusivity. Because that was the objective of SPLM, was Sudan of all, not to have and that was a very good ideology. And that's why I was talking about we must have an ideology. Ideology is the foundation of a nation.
Right.
If we don't have ideologies that are shaping how we are moving,
it gives direction to a country.
Yes, if we don't have ideology that define us, then 9 out of 10 we shall be losing out.
Right.
All the time. Because that ideology must be created and indoctrinated to the mind of the people so that people are able to contribute to the development of the country.
Right.
Anything
just to add a few things. In 2022, I was in a certain estate in South Sudan. We were training people on trauma healing and reconciliation. And then what happened was, when we train people and then they ask us, why don't you go and train Riek Machar and Salva Kiir? Because this training of reconciliation is only for the two of them. Because the two are dividing us here, back home. And they requested for a second thing. We need President Kiir and Dr. Riek to come out, come and talk to us and tell us there is peace. You understand? That was the time when, before Dr. Riek was arrested. They requested for both leaders to come and talk to them about peace, because they said, we are now like blind people. We are even deaf. We are seeing President Kiir, and they said we are not seeing even Riek. And they said there is peace in Juba. So the peace is only in Juba, or it also applies to us, or we are a different countries, perhaps in some years to come. So I could not answer some of those questions. And oftentimes, I always feel that these are certain things that our leaders need to hear from our people in the grassroots levels. They really need to come out. And coming out does not need one person, because there had been a conflict between parties. So if there is conflict between parties, it's not only the government, the ruling party should to go and talk to people about peace. They need to hear also the peace on the other side from the oppositions. And indeed, that's why the people really need to see that Riek is released, and then the two go and talk to the people, and then there is peace. And that's what convinced the people, actually. People do not have enmity between them. But according to how I have seen the whole situation in the state I have moved in and trained people on trauma healing and reconciliation, I have seen that people have been divided. Just because I am from this tribe, let me clink on the side of this leader. Just that. And indeed, if you go deep, and sometimes if I ask them, what is your problem with the other tribe? Because always I include people from different tribes. And sometimes they would say long stories, historical grievances. But some of those things can be addressed by the current government when they are at peace. But when things are not going in the right direction, they will not always expect anything. They will not. They would always go and fight among themselves, and that is what people are doing in the grassroots level. So we need that opportunity for our government and all political parties, all the positions, to go talk to the people. Because at the end of the day, who are you going to be leading? You are not leading Juba. You're not leading the people here in Juba. We are leading people. You are leading people also in the grassroots levels, and those people deserve protection. They deserve to listen to you, and you know there are people who are eager to even see Salva Kiir. They wanted to see him on his face, and they are so eager for that. And that is an achievement. That is an achievement. They wanted to just see Dr. Riak. They say, "Oh, this is an achievement," and indeed this is give them satisfaction, and that's what our people want. They just need to see, "Oh, he's an inspiring leader. We're happy for him," and you are also. In the other way around, you are changing people's behaviors in the grassroots level, because these intercommunal fights immediately stops when the two are involved into the grassroots peace initiative or dialogues and talk to the people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. So, to add on, you know, what she has said is really, it touches, because the leaders have to appear once in a while to the people. They have to appear they have to go. Leaders move from one place to another. But the problem is security. This is where we have the biggest problem in our country is insecurity. You know, I want to acknowledge that the agreement was making some gain. For instance, in chapter 5, when we talk of Commission for Truth
and
Healing and Reconciliation, and Commission for Reparation Authority. All of them were formed. They how do you call it? They became law, and that was a big step. Because we really need healing. People have not healed from the violence, from trauma that they have entered into. And you know, when we talk of peace, I alluded to it before. I said peace is not in a building somewhere. Peace is in equitable allocation of resources in society.
Justice, basically.
At home, peace cannot come if we are not sharing things equally. Of course, there will be someone who is greedy, even among the siblings. Someone will say, "Okay, I got this, the kid, you add for me this one." It's there. But first of all, we must have that denomination, that thing that divide, the aspect of dividing thing. Then if the other one is going to get according to the needs, then that is natural.
Yes.
And this is how we are supposed to look at it. Peace comes when you put PACC, when you build schools, when you construct roads, when you provide security, when there's no difference between cattle herders and the pastoralists, the farmers, when there is no cattle raiding. All these are the ones that amount to peace. Peace is not just in isolation. And that's why when government is talking about peace, or the other, or CSOs like us, we should look at what project do we bring to the people. We have a lot of meetings in the hotels here, in workshop and all these things. But do they amount to peace? They don't amount to peace. Peace is about changing things into practical. We have TVET, we have technical, vocational, educational training centers across the country. These TVET in some countries are turned into factories. Because where do we get this thing? You buy them from Chinese, the sofa set we have sat on, or are they made locally here? This is where we start. Mahatma Gandhi started minting clothes, and everybody went into that minting. Everyone you make your own clothes. You don't you don't import. So until when we reach that time where we are able to make our own chairs, where we are able to make our own tables, and we genuinely, the government officials are buying it. The ministers are sitting, even when you want to swing, you cannot put something there and you swing.
And you swing.
It's made in South Sudan.
It's true.
Made in South Sudan, you build South Sudan. Buy and build South Sudan. Then we will save. We have so many TVET that have been empowered even by the civil society organization, the international organization. They have things to make bed, to make chairs, to make sofa set, things to do with welding, windows and all this. But who are in this business? These are foreigners. Why? Because we are not investing in our own people. When they become idle, an idle mind is a devil workshop.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's where the problem starts in. We cannot be reduced to charcoal makers and all these are other things.
Yeah.
I wish this politician could come and get in touch with the people,
right,
and see how people are living.
Just a bit of it. I always dispute with some of the big meetings. There are big meetings they organize. Even there are minor meetings, and then the people go to Pyramid Hotel, go to Radisson Blu. Do you know how much money is paid? A lot of money. For instance, if that meeting is related to education, for instance, can they conduct that meeting in a cheaper place and then save some of that money to go and construct 2 classrooms in a deep village, in a Vuma, in central, in eastern Equatoria, or deep in Unity State, or deep in Upper Nile, the other side of Malakal? That can work. Sometimes a lot of money is spent unnecessary. You understand? So I feel that
and
we
key
need to,
institutions.
yeah, there are certain things. A huge amount of money is being wasted. And I have traveled to most of the states, and Lasuva and David and the listeners out there, we have not gone an inch. We are actually going like 10 steps backward when everybody is already 10 steps ahead, which is wrong. What are we trying to do? I feel a little bit ashamed when people go and enjoy. So you leave Juba and say, let me go and relax in Kenya, let me go and relax in Nairobi, let me go and relax in Dubai. What the hell is that? Can that money be used here and do some other things?
Or even donate to your community.
Donate your community, build a school, and that became a legacy. That remained a legacy.
Right.
Do you know how much money a ticket to go to Dubai? If, for instance, you keep that money. Do you know how much money you go to Kenya? Keep that money, or maybe put that money together, and then build something back home that remains in the country. It's a shame when you die and you have not done anything. It's a shame. To be honest, I have never died before that I realize it is a shame, but I feel like it's a shame for those who have existed in this country before and have not done anything.
Yeah.
To be honest, we will never celebrate you when you have a mansion in Nairobi. Never. As our leader, we will never celebrate you for that. We will never remember that. We will only remember if you build a school or you've constructed a road that connect to the local grassroots level. And that's all the security issues too. These are certain things we needed to be mindful about.
So what do you foresee going to be some of the obstacles that could prevent this inter-party dialogue from achieving tangible results? Do you foresee them, and what do you think that they need to be carefully tackled to ensure that they do not become, a hurdle?
Well, of course, everything that is started always have challenges. The first thing is the intent. If the intent is not clear, and the people who are the members of inter-party dialogue committee have no vision for the country, it will be very difficult. Another thing is interest. If the members are having their own political interests and not the interests of the citizens and the people of South Sudan, youth, women, elderly, disabled, children, and many others, it will be a very big challenge. And the most thing that they are supposed to do is to address security issue and implement the agreement in letter and in spirit. If they are void of that and they create their own version on how things are going to be done, then they will lose. So I recommend them to go back and seek clarity from the president. I want you to seek clarity from the president. Indeed, this is my call. I call them to, when they're beginning their dialogue, they must seek clarity from president.
Right.
President has to tell them what they are going to do. And also they have to tell president what they want to do. Because if there is no coordination, then it may not be signed. And you have seen both committees, their things, they have just gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
Just to add on.
Yes.
One of the obstacle and on that regard of the committee that had been formed, the dialogue, is the mistrust. Because if all parties now are involved, then there is that mistrust that comes in. Because they will say, oh, we should go in, but you know, previously certain things happened like this. You understand? So they will have that feeling of mistrust among the political parties. And there is also this issue of absence of neutral bodies, neutral mediators. Sometimes when you are a mediator and you happen to be favoring one side, you are not a mediator. Because you need to listen to both sides and then try to bring them into a point of agreement. So that will also be an obstacle. Also the external interference, I don't want to leave that out because there are people who are also gaining from some of these things. They're gaining, for instance, I'm not against the Tumaini, but there is a word that was said by Dr. Garang, and he said too many agreements dishonor.
That's Abel
That are Abel Alier, thank you. So too many initiatives about peace in South Sudan, I feel like they are not going to take us anywhere. We need to focus on one thing that brings us together. Instead of creating this, collapse tomorrow, create another, or maybe at the same time creating 2-3 different initiatives as a definition of peace. No, we need to carry on with one. Also the public pressure. The citizen, we're having serious pressure. It's only that we are a silent citizen who don't cry. We only cry on the doors of our politicians, begging for them. To be honest, citizens goes and beg, and they go and cry at the doors. People don't go and talk about issues that are bothering them. They don't meet in certain places and say, look, these are our needs. This and this and this, you are our government, you are taking care of us, and these are certain things that we wanted solution about. So our people are not aware of the Constitution. They are not aware of their rights. And these are the honest truth that we need to follow. So the public pressure could also be an obstacle. And then there is also the internal division within the parties. Like for instance, within the ruling party, there could be other people who are not of the same interest of what is happening. So that becomes also
and we have seen this quite often with the opposition.
Exactly. Even within the opposition, people move here and there. People are disputing this and that. So that will never take everybody anywhere. So these are some key obstacles that I feel would also have an impact.
One thing I forgot is the condition. Condition of the way people are in may also influence, may bring challenges.
Exactly.
Because I believe even among the politicians, there are many who don't want election. Me, that is my instinct.
My instinct is telling you the same thing.
So what do they want?
They want the status quo to remain. Unfortunately, they want the status quo because they are the beneficiaries of this status quo.
And they want the conflict to continue.
Yes, of course. And that means these people are not for South Sudan. They're just there. Is an animal farm. Somebody was talking about an animal farm. Those pigs were talking that they want. Anyway, it's good for other consumption.
All animals are equal, but
others are
more equal.
More equal than others. This is the issue.
Okay, so let's look at this. A couple more questions as we wind up. So, given international concerns about governance and use of aid, which was basically raised by the U.S., so what steps should the government and peace agreement parties take to improve transparency and accountability?
Of course, we have seen in the last the 2025-2026 budget, we have seen that there was public participation that was, and also the breakdown. Even we have known how much money is given to each state. I think there's some transparency aspect that is coming, though it's coming late.
Yeah.
The issue is the way it is coming late. And also we have seen in the crackdown, the way that people are being, I don't know what is related, the way the former ministers, is it the former ministers, people who are in certain key position are now going behind bars. It shows that there's something wrong with the system.
Right.
Something somewhere is wrong with the system. And later on, maybe we'll be able to get to what extent how this thing affect us.
Right.
So it seems the government is really willing to work on transparency. It's why I recommend the issue of the budget. It's why the 2026-2027 financial year, it has to be discussed early, it has to be tabled early, so that the questions are asked and how the allocation is done.
Right.
I was able to see the way the previous 2024-2025 financial year, how money was used. The money, there are some ministries, key ministries that are getting 3,500% of their budget. How much is the percentage that they're supposed to get is 100%. Some of them are getting 3,500%, 2,500%.
Right.
Including the Minister of Finance getting 2,500% of their budget.
Yes. You wanted to add something?
Yes.
Okay.
Indeed, if government is not accountable on the expenses, it becomes a problem to the people. And if the people are not even following up, it's also a problem. Because I think there is a say that says, a certain American guy said, when you are eating the money of someone who does not know, you're not accountable by God. God does not punish you. So you are eating money of someone who is foolish and is stupid, who does not know where her or his money is being taken away. But they said the sin comes when you are eating the money of someone who knows. That's where the problem comes. And usually, in that sense, that means as a citizen, we need to know where our money is going. For instance, if there's, I have heard of the recent road project that is coming in soon.
Road for gold.
The road for gold.
We need to know how much is the gold.
Yes. So that if the road is not constructed within the given period of time, then we should ask the government, where is the road that you said will be built? But if indeed there is a road, and then we say, oh yes, thank you so much, government, you have constructed our road. So we are missing certain thing in our area. For instance, if there are schools, hospitals, this is where now we can begin from.
Lasuba, I need to intervene here.
Yeah,
This thing of the road. This road for gold really is not proper. You cannot earmark money for something. We need to know how much is the value of gold that we have. It's a natural resource, and it's our resource, national resource. We need to know how much it is before the money is given for construction. Because other people may take more. How much is the gold? How much is the gold that we have? And we are going to be participating in this mining of
so
the
what
gold.
mechanisms need to be put in place?
Of course, the government has to show the way the oil is. We know how much is the barrel and how the oil is being sold. It can be calculated, can be calculated using the production that is done. So we need to know from the companies that are mining gold, how much quantity of gold are they mining and how much is it being sold.
Yes.
How much is brought so that it can be. And we call for transparency giving contract to the construction of this road. The bidding has to be done. People must know who are these people who are going to construct the road, so that later on they are whole accountable in case they fail somewhere in providing these vital services to people.
Another point is audit. The government need to be audited, especially the institutions that are handling certain amount of budget. So they have to be audited. That's one of the things that we need.
Transparency.
Yeah, that is transparency. So that helps us to understand that, oh, okay, this money did not end up in Kenya, did not end up in Dubai, but it ended up in constructing a hospital in this certain village, in this location, in South Sudan.
Right.
Yeah.
Last question is, so what role should the African Union, the United Nations and partners like US play?
Go on with that.
Where should they actually draw the line between support and pressure in helping South Sudan move forward?
Did I
Of
get
course,
that
South
question?
Sudan has got a lot of support from US especially and the UN. The African Union, they have given their support too. But also, it has to be willingness from us. You know, for you to be helped, you must be willing to show sign that you are going. You need help. When you're doing the right thing, that's when people can help you. So I agree with the call that they're making. But those calls, we should hear them and we turn them into opportunities for us so that we can go to them with a clean bill that, you know what, this is what we have done, please help us here. But when we don't, it will be tougher and tougher, especially the way we have seen in the United States. America these days is only for Americans. It's not for everybody. They're looking internally. Because the cut of USAID is one thing that shows that all of us, we are vulnerable. And also this thing is a positive thing. We can look internally to our resources. I believe we have resources that can sustain us for some period of time before we can call for help.
Right.
Yeah.
So unless we turn those resources into usable, we need to use them. And that's why I was telling you that we need to turn this TVET into factories. We go to universities and get research. This research will form the policy, will help us in putting our things in order. But when we don't go to universities to get research, when we are not using our resources as it is expected of us. She came up with the audit. I don't know who is the Auditor General.
And that's
Is it there?
It's Stephen Wandu.
And is he doing his role? Have we ever had the report?
He became the chairperson of the same institution but at the regional level.
You see?
You see?
But we are not, I don't know. This is the first time I'm getting
He has
it.
been
Exactly.
doing that. He has been doing audits and
He's giving
it has
the
never
reports.
been published.
So
I have
this is
not
where
seen-
we have problem. Because if you need assistance, mostly especially external assistance,
auditing is
they need the report. How are you using your money?
Yeah.
If you are using your money well, then they are going to give you. But if the money is used for other purposes rather than services for the citizen,
Right.
including social services and others, then it becomes very difficult.
Yes.
Do you know even the money that is given now to our country and is being managed by organizations is because the donors have no trust to our government on managing that money. I'm sorry to say that. I've been working in Unity State in managing healthcare services.
Yes.
Yes.
Project.
Yes. So I feel ashamed, me being instructed by someone else on how to, for instance, deliver delivery kits to a certain healthcare facility.
Rather than the government.
Rather than the government. The government should see which location need this,
Services.
and then the government delivers it. And then documentation. And that is not there. Documentation is missing.
Actually, these international NGOs are development partners.
Right.
In some countries like Uganda or Kenya, you see them, they relate with the government, ministries, line ministries.
Right.
But for ours, we are saying we are operating on emergency. Emergency.
Right.
We cannot be in emergency for
long.
for this
20
long.
years.
It's unfair.
More than 20
It's
years.
unfair. We cannot be in an emergency situation. We really need to transform this country in not
Stable.
an emergency country, but a country that is stable, that attracts people, and people comes in and invest in it. And it should be a country where someone takes a vacation and say, I'm going to South Sudan.
My life in Upper Nile,
Yes.
Homa and all this.
We need that country.
Angola.
And not a country where people are running away from the heat and say, I'm going for AC in Nairobi. No. We need to have our own ACs here. Yeah.
We create our
own conducive environment. Let's keep the country secure. Yes.
Right. Now, let's conclude this discussion by your last remarks and your takeaways on what you need this country or the government to do and ensure that really the country restores peace and stability. And for the citizens, as you said, to have their suffering alleviated. And maybe you can reflect on the inter-party dialogue. What do you expect it, how do you expect it to be done?
For me, I would keep singing, even in the dream, I would keep singing security, security, security to this country. Addressing this issue of insecurity remains a priority in everything we discuss, because we cannot be in this room and in the back of our heart we are thinking we will not be safe outside. No, we need to be safe here and safe outside. So what I need from the government and the political parties that are involved in the conflict is to offer a safe place for people to do their activities without interruption of insecurity, and then to come up with measures that are helping our citizens to come up with, for instance, the Tibet initiatives. Some of these things are so good. They are more than the academic. They are helping our youth to focus on the activities that generate incomes to them and not to involve themselves in the conflict. And these are some of the things our government should focus on and ensure that our youth are not involved in the conflict. And my message to the youth is that you live once, you're not living twice. And should you allow yourself to be manipulated and be lured into a conflict that kills you, ends your life, then you're not going anywhere. You need to live this life that you're living once with something that you feel you have sweat for. You really need to sweat for something that generates for yourself and for your family, and then generation after generation. And this would be one of the things that keep this country safe. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lasuba, for invitation. You know, my last is the way I project this country. This country is a country that is very powerful, a nation that can really sustain herself. I use, I'm educationist, and we should prioritize the inter-party dialogue committee, should prioritize what do we want as South Sudanese. As you were saying, security, we need security. We need education, we need health services, we need infrastructure, like roads. All this, if we achieve them, then even there will be no pressure on political leaders. Because what people need is services, enabling environment. Youth are involved in drugs, they're involved in Toronto and all this. So unless we try to see how best we can engage them, women, children should go to school, so that this country future can be really determined. We can shape the decision we make today, can shape our tomorrow.
Right.
The last thing is that tough time never lasts, but tough people do. Yeah. South Sudanese resilient is really very good, and they should keep with that resilience, so that we achieve great things as a nation.
Thank you very much. And dear viewer, I have seen many of your comments here, and someone saying my sister is the voice of the voiceless. I suppose that is Nyakuma, somebody called Clinton Pajok. And Mawut Ngong earlier said it's vital theme of these days to learn leaders leaders and unlearned leaders in South Sudan. Well, they are learned leaders. And Peter Tongunsen, your point, peace begins with social security, such as national security, agriculture, and fair judicial judgment. And Kutika, I really appreciate this step taken by our radio station. It's good for the youth to come with ideas that are needed at the state level. And Hajar Pam Diang is saying, David, it's right. Yeah, talk about tribalism. It's not clear, but thank you for sharing that. And someone is saying, good, my lecturer. I hope you're lecturing somewhere there.
It's a great lecture.
Yeah, and you all said we cannot move forward since there is no national direction. South Sudan has signed the protocols and it must be held accountable. What constitutes a failed state? He's asking a question there, but we can't respond to you that. Absolutely, Mr. David, not every year we should be talking about peace rather than service delivery to the people. And well, most of you are appreciating this, but thank you for the compliment. And indeed, we have come to the end of this particular podcast program. I can't go through all the messages here, but thank you, David,
Thank you so much.
for the insight, and also Nyakuma, Peter Riak. It's been great really having this conversation. It's so in-depth and to the point. And to you, dear viewer, I do appreciate you all every Friday staying glued to this conversation. Let's keep doing this. Let's keep rolling. And of course, we'll have another edition of the same next week on Friday. From me to you, please do enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. very
Welcome to Around South Sudan. You go to podcast for the stories that shape our nation. Each week, we explore the most impactful headlines that are shaping the narrative in South Sudan. We delve into issues related to national development, peace building, politics, culture, and economics. To stay informed and engaged, tune into Around South Sudan and be part of the conversation that matters. Subscribe now and join us